For some reason, people believe that in the West, life is better for women. Currently in the US, 2024, women earn 80 cents on a man's dollar. The primal worldview that you have is going to shape everything. You just leave the job. So yes, digital entrepreneurship is much more fulfilling. Now, in order to be successful though, Naeema, to get that successful, it's your primal worldview. And what your primal worldview is, there's two options. Every disease is a dis-ease. That means that something inside of you is not settled. And we have this stress. Relationships that are sucking the energy out of you, and I mean emotional energy, then you have to distance yourself.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to Women's Lounge with Shiza and Naeema.
Assalamu alaikum to all.
Today we are joined by Rina Makhdoom. She is a Muslim entrepreneur and she has been successfully running her business for over 30 years. So आज इनसे हम पूछेंगे कि what are the important steps to be an entrepreneur? How can women become entrepreneurs? So welcome Rina, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum, good to be here. A couple of things.
Welcome Rina to our show.
Okay, so a couple of reasons I feel women should be entrepreneurs. When I talk to audiences in Africa, Asia, South America, for some reason, people believe that in the West, life is better for women. In the West, things are easier for women. Currently in the US, 2024, women earn 80 cents on a man's dollar. So if you put a woman and a man in the exact same job, okay, the woman, if the man is earning $100,000 a year, the woman will be earning $80,000 a year. Second current statistic in the US in corporations is, for example, if you want a woman to work harder, what you do is you give her a promotion. And you say, look, I am now, Naeema, going to promote you to director of marketing. But here's the thing. We don't have any money. So we can't give you any more money. And they will change the title for women, but they will not give them the pay. Right. So the level of job dissatisfaction for women in the West is just as difficult. It's a global situation. It's not that one country is worse than the other. And I feel like when I'm talking, especially in Pakistan, there's something like, oh, we have it harder. It's harder for us. No, it's bad everywhere. So as a woman, you are going to work harder. As a woman, you are going to have to put in more time. As a woman, you're going to be shamed for working, right? Because if you're not taking care of your husband and your kids, that's not good, right? But then if you're not progressing in your career, and you don't have the satisfaction you want, you have to sacrifice both sides. And that is global for everybody. So there are three things I want to share with you. And the first one is, what is your primal worldview? The primal worldview that you have is going to shape everything. And so when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to doing anything, this is what is going to set whether you make it or don't make it. Our primal worldview is...
Rina, one thing I just want to share. In Pakistan, in last 2 years, there was a survey, and the survey says that the Pakistani women who are at home, they are more doing, they are successfully, they are doing their entrepreneurship, digital entrepreneurship through Insta. For example, baking, embroidery, jewelry, makeup artist. So they feel more comfortable using these platforms. While they're sitting at home and they can earn money, because Pakistan mein again बहुत सा problem वही बात है कि जो बच्चे देखने हैं, घर देखने हैं, you are not allowed to go. 9 to 5 job is very difficult, challenging. So accordingly to that survey, 60% of the women, they are earning very well through these, for example, Instaka only. तो उसमें मुझे ये लगता है कि डिजिटल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इज मच इजियर या मतलब something the Pakistani woman can do it.
It's flexible actually, no?
Flexible,
long terms.
And Naeema, it's fulfilling. See, that's the whole thing. It's fulfilling because when you're representing yourself, like I left my engineering job to be an entrepreneur because I thought, God gave them a mother with a master's of science in electrical engineering. And now I'm turning my kids over to someone making $10 an hour for 40 hours a week and saying, hey, teach these people values. That's not right. So it's more fulfilling when you can do that. Now, the U.S. also learned that in 2020 with the shift in the work market. There was a great resignation in the U.S. and people were just quitting their jobs because when you see that your life is about to end or you feel that way, you just leave the job. So yes, digital entrepreneurship is much more fulfilling. Now, in order to be successful though, Naeema, to get that successful, it's your primal worldview. And what your primal worldview is, there's two options. This world is a great place and I am going to be secure and happy. The world is going to take care of me. Or this world is evil and bad things happen to people. And you see people with both these worldviews. Okay, mostly that this world is evil, it's bad things happen. So I've just been traveling. I'm actually back from Rome. It's been 12 hours I've been home. And I cannot tell you how many people told me there's pickpockets. Watch out for this. Watch out for that. Do this, do that. And that's a primal worldview. My thing was God put me on this earth at this time for this place so I could enjoy it. So I can enjoy it. So I can cherish in it. And I have this entrepreneur business where I can leave whenever the heck I want without asking anybody that I am leaving right now or telling them, ijazat de do, ye kar do, wo kar do. No, I left because I wanted to go to Rome. Nafisa was there, Naeema. General Nafisa.
Yeah.
So
I was so jealous from watching your pictures in France and everywhere.
I am watching your 4 pictures too. So the primal review is the first thing that's going to shape you. So when you start an entrepreneurship journey, like Naeema is saying, you're going to be a digital entrepreneurship. Do you believe you're going to succeed? Do you believe there's a need for your product? Do you believe that you have what it takes to make it? Are you willing to stand up to your family and to society and to all your friends that tell you you're crazy, that get an education, get a secure job? I know this girl that tried to sell cupcakes on Insta once and usko ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya, like, do you have that mental capacity? And your primal worldview is going to determine that. That can you stand up? Because the minute you begin to rise, it's not that you are selling something on Insta and being successful. It is not that you are becoming an influencer. The problem is that you are reminding them that they are not using their potential. And that upsets people. That upsets people that they could have gone out and become an entrepreneur, right? They could have gone and done something big, but they didn't. And now you're doing that, so they get upset. All right. So that's the first thing, the primal worldview. Any questions on that? Otherwise, I'll go on to my next.
Yeah, I think if I sum it up, one thing which I understand you are trying to say, first, the woman should be strong within herself to be there. This will be a big challenge, to balance and to handle, and at the same time to earn money. But I think doing a business, whether it's an online or offline, it's a big challenge, first of all. And to start,
you take.
What did you say?
I said it's a risk that you're going to take. So every time it's online, it's not online. So it's going to be challenging, and there will be tons of people telling you cannot do it. So that time remains the same.
Yeah, and I also think
what, in this economic conditions, not in Pakistan, all around the world, I feel if every member of the family, they have to work, and especially the wife and the husband, both, they should be earning. Otherwise, you cannot achieve any decent, I am saying decent, not a very high lifestyle in Pakistan.
Exactly.
And not in Pakistan only, in the inflation rate, I mean, even everywhere. So I think the woman, she is the one who will take the double burden of her kids, her house, and triple burden maybe, and the job, insecurities and all these challenges when she's going out, or maybe she's trying to earn online. So I think she should have that strong nerve. And
Yeah, and also to understand that working for someone else for 30 years, hoping for a retirement, when at the end they can pull that retirement at any time, that's also a risk. That you go into these jobs and you give away your entire life. You give away your entire life, you give away your freedom. So it's a risk both ways. But if your heart is saying something, then have the courage to follow it. And if you're going to fail, fail big, fail with, gusto, fail with, the way, make people talk. There was that girl, she tried this and she failed big. Like, make an impact, make people think. Who cares if you failed? I mean, how many successful people fail? You will learn something, right? And that's the whole point. Learn some, you win some, you learn some. And the best thing is, if you learn something, the next time you do anything, you're going to be a better person for that. Okay.
right.
The second thing, that when we don't pursue, let's just say, entrepreneurship or something that our dream, okay? My sister had a dream of working with children, teaching children. My father, of course, told her, go get a secure degree in business, go earn money. No one's going to pay. Teachers don't make any money. So she gave up on that to go do a business. And then she worked for companies as a business consultant for 7 years. But at some point, you pay the price, right? So now she's a trainer in business consulting. So everything that you give up for someone else, if you have it in your heart that you can do something socially, if you have something in the back of your mind saying, try this, try this, try this, you need to listen. Because if not, every disease is a dis-ease. That means that something inside of you is not settled, and we have this stress. So if you look up, and I don't know if I can share screen, if I can, otherwise don't worry about it. There are emotional causes of illness. And you can Google Louise Hay, Hay, emotional causes of illness. And she will tell you that every illness that someone has an emotional root. And now when I go to, I'm looking at women in the 50 plus 60 age range, okay? And everyone is going to tell me they're depressed, they're sad, they're lonely, they have arthritis, they can't bend their knees, they have some kind of, stomach problems. Ye nahi kha sakte, wo nahi kha sakte. Like, there's this thing, sirdiyan nahi kar sakte. I'm like sitting here going, what quality of life is that? And so there is an emotional price you will pay. Not your mother, not your brother, not your husband, not your kids. There's emotional price you will pay because it's your body.
It's your body
that had the dream. It's your mind, and you went against it. So it's going to come out on you, right? So why are there so many women with these diseases later in life? And it's because you suppress what's important to you. So, for example, the knees represent flexibility. You will see that people that have knee problems are not flexible. Okay, the back represents support. You will notice that people that have back problems either did not support themselves or were not supported. And so every disease she has studied for probably 40 years, and you can go there and go to every doctor you want, and people in their 50s and 60s are going to doctors, getting prescriptions like anything. But if you're not happy and you spent a life sacrificing for everybody else, including your children, then you are going to pay the price later. Okay, no one else is paying for you. And have you all seen this, that older women tend to be sicker? Okay, so take care of yourself. I think the best gift I can give, I have 4 children. I think the best gift I can give my children is a healthy mom. I think the best that I can
and Rina, I think this is very important. And I hear, especially when they cross 40s, or maybe they reach 40, and then you start hearing from them, oh, hum to reh gaye. मैंने तो जी बहुत किया बच्चों के साथ अपने. I have consumed myself with the kids. I have consumed myself in the in-laws के हस्बैंड ने बहुत तंग किया, जरूरी नहीं वैसे तंग सारे ने किया, और एक फिर ये वो सारी फिर वो बातें एट द एंड दे स्टार्ट, वो एक बीच
It
पे एक वो क्या
accumulates.
कहते हैं, रिग्रेट तो नहीं होंगी, लेकिन वो एक पेन, एक
building up, yes, of
इमोशनल,
course.
हाँ, कि जी हम तो बस हमें जमाने ने नहीं, हमें इन हालात ने नहीं किया, एंड देन दैट वो फिर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता वो इमोशनली वो एक वीक होना, और फिर वो सारी
And I
चीजें आना
think
शुरू
that
हो
is basically what leads to not having a very fulfilled life, you know. So at the end of the day, you don't have the satisfaction of achieving something on your own. You still are, and that's really sad. That's just sad.
It is sad, and your body is going to pay the price. Okay. So I'm looking at right now Kate Middleton, which, if you're not familiar with Kate Middleton, she's up to be the Queen of England, right? And she has cancer in her 30s. Cancer is a death wish. Now, she married a prince. Like, what do you not have? And cancer is a death wish, and she's miserable. So you can sit there and, chemo kariye, radiation kariye. But the deal is, if you do not get the core emotional problem, which is her in-laws and the royal family control her, right? They tell you what to wear. They tell you what to do. They tell you how to sit. They tell you what to eat, what to drink. If you do not get that under control, then she's paying with cancer in her 30s. This is ridiculous. So look up Louise Hay, Emotional Causes of Illness. And if you have anything that is emotional, okay? So for example, I used to bite my nails my whole life. I bit my nails till about 5 years ago. And the reason I stopped is nails are protection. And when you feel like you can't speak up and protect yourself, especially against your family, you take away the things that protect you. And so your nails are one of them.
Please tell me how you have done it, Rina, because I then have this issue, nail biting.
Nail biting. Yeah. So Naeema, you get to a point where you need to look at every relationship you have, especially your intimate relationships, because we underestimate our intimate families. Okay. And I'm talking husband, kids, parents, siblings. These are your intimate relationships. They all need to be in balance. If you have any feeling in your heart against anybody in that relationship, that they're pushing you, that they're not listening to you, whatever, you need to stand up and then mend that relationship, or pull away in the sense that I'm not going to spend that much time. Okay. Eid pe main aa jaungi, but har din nahi, har din phone nahi karni, har hafta nahi jaake khana. Like, figure out what that level is. The second thing is, understand that a lot of these relationships, if you find out, let's just say mother-in-law, husband, that seems to be a common thread. And you find out you tried to talk to this person. You tried to explain your position. They are still disrespectful. Okay. They're still disrespectful, not honoring what you're saying. Then what you have to do mentally is understand this is not a love relationship. This is a transactional relationship. And what a transactional relationship, especially for, let's just say, women in their 20s, you're trying to make your business, okay? You're living with your parents. Your father doesn't like what you're doing. Your mother doesn't like what you're doing. A transactional relationship is, yes, I live here. They give me food. They give me housing. They give me a bedroom, okay? And in return, I listen to this opinion.
Whatever.
Okay. But this is not a love relationship, because a love relationship would not make you give up something you want. A love relationship is not. And a lot of unfortunately, emotionally, a lot of our parents, a lot of our siblings, in-laws, spouses are not capable emotionally of providing that level of support. So it's a transaction, and a transaction means I go to the fruit guy, I give him 1,000 rupees, I get some fruit. Okay. I don't go there and say the fruit guy bought everybody birthday presents and not me. I don't go there and say the fruit guy, invited everyone to their Eid party and I didn't get an invitation. You don't get emotionally involved in a transactional relationship. I gave you the money, I get the fruit. So here, My father is paying for the roof over my head and my school tuition and the food on the table. Okay. That's what I'm getting. I'm not looking for something else out of that relationship. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. And sometimes you just have to understand that's all your father is emotionally capable of. He cannot say you're beautiful. He cannot say.
If you think of it like that, I think all relationships are transactional because there's a give and take in all relationships. It cannot be just it has to be a give and take. Otherwise, it's not a relationship.
I do think there's a give and take, but I do also have mentors. Okay, Shiza, that really care about me. Do you understand? I have mentors where I can go and say, I need this, and they give me what I need. They don't sit there and tell me everything that's wrong with me and everything I should have done and all this other stuff. So there are, and I have friends. I have friends where I can say, bus, enough, and they shut up. Whereas there are some people you say, bus, enough, and they just they're still on you.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
There are so many.
Yeah.
So many.
Honestly, like Naeema and I have been friends for decades. I could tell Naeema right now that, Naeema, I am sick today. I cannot do this. Okay. She would have said, okay, fine. Let's find another day. Okay. Or I could have said, Naeema, I don't want to do this. She would have said, okay, fine. She would not have said, what do you mean? My students need you. Acha, 20 minute ke liye zara sa sahi hoke aa jao. It would have been like, okay, you said no. No means no.
Respect, yeah.
A transactional relationship is when I say I am sick, I am tired, I can't do something. The other person is like, okay, let me try guilt. Let me try manipulation. What kind of mother would you be if you didn't do this? What kind of mompreneur, entrepreneur, motivationer would you be if you give up on this talk? That's transactional. Does that make sense, Shiza?
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I feel. And the third and final thing that I think we need to understand as women is we were meant to leave a mark. Okay. So like we were talking about, when you don't fulfill your purpose, and it's not just listening to your husband, your in-laws, and, feeding your kids. When you don't fulfill and leave some kind of legacy or legend, then you're going to pay the price for it. And it always says, obedient women never made history. You look at every woman that's ever made history, she went against culture. Culture is designed to control. So whenever I think about culture, I think about control. I'm part of two different cultures. And there are things that I can do in this culture that if I came into Pakistan, I would just be the talk of everybody's list. And there are things that you can do in Pakistan where you come in this culture and I am going to be discriminated against. And it's not right or wrong. It's just culture means control. And, sometimes you need to go against the culture and against the control. And the worst thing that you can do in any culture, the worst thing is to tell the truth. Because all cultures do not want to hear the truth. In this culture, we spend over 50% of our taxes on military, which causes wars. But you can never say that we're a violent people. We can never say that we buy weapons. You come here and you start saying that, they will just push you away like you're the craziest crazy person. But we spend over 50% of our economy on weapons and war. Do you understand? So you cannot speak the truth in a culture, and just understand that when you see the truth and you start speaking the truth, there's going to be pushback. And that's where Naeema said, be strong. And you are smart because you're listening to programs like this, right? Or support you. So now we have, like Naeema said, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have YouTube. You can go somewhere and get the support you need so you can speak your truth. And whether you're embraced or pushed away, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right. But Rina, what I think here in our Pakistani society, we have some being not so much conservative, but still we have that class, we have these populations who are still living under, a very strict, environment. So they need a permission for everything from their in-laws, especially for the married woman. And if she's not married, so she need a permission of her parents, and then her, maybe her brothers, so to start any business or something, entrepreneurship, something which is, will make her to earn money. So I think that still we have these, very few women when they think, "Hey, gee, let's do a business." So I think these are the first challenges or first obstacles or hurdles they face. Hey, gee, how the family restrictions, the boundaries, how they will cross it. And as you said, there should be a failure. So to learn and then to progress. ये नहीं कि जी आज शुरू किया है तो बस कल से ही लाख कमाना शुरू कर देंगे and then maybe हमारा कोई brand बन जाएगा. So I think these things are very important to understand whenever it comes to the women especially. कि जी आपने अगर कोई business start करना है, कि आपने entrepreneurship कोई startup है आपका, तो I think ये challenges तो आने ही आने हैं आप.
They're gonna come, and the other thing is the issue I see with women, Naeema, is you go to the same person for support. अच्छा माँ से फिर बात कर रहे हो, माँ फिर कह रही है कि ना करो, खामन से फिर बात कर रहे हो, कह रहा नहीं है. So find someone that supports you. And then the other issue is, especially in here and in Pakistan, the minute the woman starts earning more than the man, all of a sudden the power dynamic starts going crazy, right? Because that's another issue. Okay, what happens if your business is successful? If a man's business is successful, everyone is clapping. But if a woman's business is successful and she starts earning more than the man, then all of a sudden the marriage is rocks.
Yeah. And even if she don't earn, उसमें भी होगा. अच्छा, तुम्हें कहा था ना बच्चे देखो घर बैठ के हैं, आपने मियाँ की तुमने ना बात नहीं सुनी ना बस ये.
No, but Naeema, if you're not earning, then you're in a child situation, right? Naeema, मुझे नई जूती चाहिए. अच्छा कितने की जूती है? अच्छा.
You're always asking for money, and then that becomes really.
It's humiliating. It's humiliating asking for money. Okay.
Yeah.
अच्छा मुझे 10,000 चाहिए जूती के लिए. नहीं. मैं सिर्फ
I cannot imagine. I am asking Tony this thing. No way.
I know. If I want something, I want to have the power to buy it. So if I'm not earning, right, and I do the kids thing, then I have to ask permission to buy shoes. I have to ask permission to buy. It's crazy. But then if I do earn, and I did start earning a lot of money, then all of a sudden, क्या बन गई है, क्या सोच रही है,
अपनी कमाती है,
so, and then, same with the marriage dynamic. It was really hard because now you got to build up the guy to say, hey, yes, you're still a man, even though I'm bringing in all this money. So it's for women.
Even Rina, let me tell you one thing. There is also some of the things you see here. If the bahu, if the girl, she's earning very well, so she is also very acceptable as well. I mean, that's another debate. She is the one who's going to earn and then the spend and सबको पालना उसी नहीं है फिर. अभी वो जो we were watching that drama. I mean, we were about to talk about Hasrat. That's the drama where they tell the wife, she is the one who's earning and doing everything. So वो भी बेचारी के लिए एक किस्म का negative बन गया, and then her marriage was on stake. So वो ये भी एक problem हो जाती है.
And so so I think for women, it's a very tight rope you have to walk, because I will tell you right now, there was a Harvard study done in 2014. For 25 years, they followed Harvard graduates. So Harvard is the top university in the United States. These women graduated from Harvard. They followed them for 25 years. And they tried to say which women made CEOs, so which women made the top of the top, and which women didn't. And so they were trying to figure out why Harvard graduates. So I mean, these have money, they have education, they're the cream of the crop in the US. Why some of them made it, some of them didn't, right? And what do you think the number one reason that women did not become CEOs were? Any guess?
I think because of
husband.
partners.
Yeah, number one, husband. You could have kids, not have kids. You could be single, you could be married, whatever. But if you had a supportive spouse, you became a CEO. If you were working against a spouse, you didn't make it. And these are Harvard educated, top-notch women. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do, but if you don't have that support in home and you are always dealing with that intimate enemy that is sucking that energy out of every idea, every thought you have, it's very hard to go up. And then someone that doesn't celebrate your success. I mean, how fun is it to be successful and no one cares?
And not being able to celebrate it with anyone. Yeah, that's painful.
You know, I mean, the minute we're successful, you know what Naeema and I are doing, chalo juice peeing, you know, like even something little like that. So that's a huge emotional hurt on a woman, that no one's happy when I'm successful, right? So those, I think, are the key issues, and women are balancing them all over the world. But like I said, people that listen to programs like this is the way out, because thoughts become things. So whatever you're thinking about becomes your life. And if you're listening to women that are uplifted and empowered and breaking barriers and will tell you you're not crazy because you want something that's in your heart that no one around you understands, that's the way out, right? And eventually the relationships that are sucking the energy out of you, and I mean emotional energy, then you have to distance yourself. And I say everybody has a time limit. You know, everyone has a time limit before they drove me crazy. My in-laws, 4 hours. I'm telling you, 4 hours with them and I am ready to shoot myself. So I just know.
I think you're not just alone in that boat. I think you have a few.
Yeah.
I think everyone agree 100%.
Yeah, I can have one meal with them and then I'm ready to, you know, by listening to their just thoughtless, the stuff what they want to talk about is what people wore, what they ate. And, you know, there's a thing that...
Thank you, Rina. I think this was excellent. We're just going to wrap up on this note. I think it's really important that we try to have, we try to live a very fulfilled life, and that fulfillment comes from your own worth. And if you are worthy in your own eyes, then that's important. So with that, I'm just going to wind up the show. Thank you, Rina, for joining us and for the lovely talk. And please let us know in the comments, what did you think? If some things that relate to you, or iske baare mein what is it, iske alawa, what do you want us to talk about? So do write to us. And with that, Allah Hafiz. Thank you so much.